A small round piece of glass had been... This... The killer must have... He was long... Mimes and guns don't... I'd come... At least that's what I'd called. Some people hate searching. In his pocket, I found taking the ticket. It was a boat ticket stamped Bateau de la Concierge. When I was a little girl, Papa used to take me on the Bateau Mouche as a treat. Carchon had been shot. It was one of my... It must have fallen when I was knocked down. The police could turn up at any minute, somewhere. A Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. But hey, with a husband that rich. A magnificent... I reckoned that cloth might just turn... Even my fingernail. Nico. Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her because there was something... And hey, she'd been rude to... It was a tube of acrylic paint. Just the color... I'm sorry, I have to go. Young lady, what are you... Oh, this paint. It's my... For God's sake, keep the damn stuff. Excuse me. Yes? Why would a... Pierre had plenty of enemies. How did your husband know? I have no idea. You didn't know him? Pierre knew a lot of people I did. I am so sorry. No, you're not. You're not true. We shall... Why did your husband send for me? I have no idea. He never told you anything. No, and frankly, I preferred it that way. This is quite a scoop for you. Just because I am a... Don't patronize me. Do you have any moral sense at all? Yes, that's why... You do it to see your name in print. As if my editor gets the byline. Well, don't expect my sympathy. The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? No. He was all I had, really. The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in. I know one thing, madame. What? If you want to find out who... Then you let me do the... Why? Your husband invited me here today. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him. I doubt it was your database. You're wrong. I was onto his killers already. I am sure of it. Please, you... I don't know. All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come. You really do have a moral... And perhaps Pierre really did think that... Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing... Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. Thank you. The door was locked. Now we were getting... The painting showed the Carchon... Or did I read that in a fortune cookie? Aha! There was a small button. There was the very faintest... Locked. As expected, the desk was... The blotter and in tray had... My heart skipped. It had been made by my... I knew for certain because in my apartment I carved into a box he had made. So Carchon had known my father. I decided to take the carved elephant. I'd spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray, but also quite a clever one. No. No. Behind the picture was a safe. The safe was locked. In the safe there were strange symbols. If there was one thing I'd learned, but these symbols scratched into stone were impossible. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. And what could I print? Sure, I was... I rolled the artifact in the paint until it was completely coated. No. I wouldn't be able to print straight onto the cloth. I needed something flat to print onto. No. I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Genius! The roller and the paint worked just as I planned. It was some kind of coded message. It read, sub judice. I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts. Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense. I suddenly realized there was a connection between... The boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. The concierge... So, sub judice could, in this case, mean below the concierge. I was pretty sure I'd found... And besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck, but I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace, I was definitely going to win it this time. I couldn't leave without saying goodbye. Did you find anything useful? This carving. Do you know anything about it? It was Pierre. Please, I need to know. He was given it by... He never explained any... No. But I think it was important. It was carved by my father. Oh, I see. Imelda, I will do everything... Thank you, my dear. And if the police ask, don't worry. Sub judice was the key. I was going to have to find a way under... I decided to head straight for the quayside. If there was a way of getting under the conciergerie, it would have to be from there. Carchon wasn't the type for messing about on the... He was up to something down. I wasn't leaving yet. The fence wouldn't move. This fence. cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. It was embroidered on the lace cloth I'd picked up at Carchon. I knew I was on the right track. I tried pushing. A strange pair of locks stopped. Yes! One down, one to go. Nothing like a good convent education for honing your lockpicking skills. For a room full of... This place was definitely fishy. I really didn't... Oops. An old shell case. Moving a skiff would... The words? Sinister. Now any good convent girl like me... But what did it mean here? Rolling out the painted... It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters. S, D, S, S, D, S, S. Mystery solved. Carchon's stone ceiling with a satisfying click. And I love this. I removed the... The stone slab had flattened one end of the ship. I removed another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had... Wow! Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. And how did it tie in with Carchon? Amazing! That wasn't going to help. I wasn't going to find any... The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear. Fascist regalia, a message of hate. It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently. This was the article I'd written about. Carchon had cut it out. Two businessmen, a penguin, and they're both the victims. So, how did... Oh my god. The sheet was a printout with my personal... They were right about chocolate. But come on, guys. I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big. And I was part of it. The dregs at the bottom of the mug hadn't dried out or gone moldy. It wasn't more than a day old. Inside the drawer, I found... full report. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seemed. Take great care. X. I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murder. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know that he didn't? Damn, don't you just hate it when that happens? A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Carchon. Behind him were soldiers. A burning... The photograph was cropped on. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't... I wasn't surprised. This was Africa in the 60s. And here was Mr. Media himself. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one I had enough for a story. An amazing story that... and blow Carchons to pieces. I need... Bonsoir, Collard.
Nico, it's Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, you cracked open the champagne.
Are you crazy?
What's wrong? Wait a minute.
Of course I didn't print.
That's the best piece I've written.
The last, as far as I'm concerned.
It's important.
It's suicidal. You can't destroy a national...
He deserved it.
His corpse isn't even cold.
Ronnie, 2 hours ago I told you what I'd found. You begged me to write it up.
2 hours is a long time in newspaper.
Someone's got to you, haven't they?
Listen up, Nicole, and listen good. Pierre Carchon had a lot of powerful friends.
Forget what happened.
You got it. End of conversation. Good night.
This should have been my big break, but I knew there was nowhere else to sell this story. If Ronnie wouldn't print it, nobody would. Bonsoir, Collard.
Mademoiselle Collard, my name is Plantard. I need to talk to you about your story. Your Pierre Carchon story.
How did you know about that?
There are people out there, madame, who will be very upset by this story.
Oh, really? Well, it's their lucky day. It's been spiked.
Yes, I know. We must meet.
We must?
I have information relating to your costume killer stories. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Café de la Chandelle Verte, Rue Alain Court. I shall be wearing a grey overcoat. You must talk to no one about this.
You can't tell me what to...
Tomorrow at 8. I'll be waiting.
People complain about newspaper articles all the time, but not usually before they're printed. I was beginning to feel scared. This guy, Plantard, could I trust him? Should I meet him or forget the whole business? I didn't have an answer.